Hello, I'm Mr. Sakitumi.
And I am the girl.
Since I was a beginning, I was picking it up. Till I got up on the mic, I started hyping you up. Now you're biting your lips and you're pumping your fists. Cause I'm moving you in places that don't even exist.
Officially started playing music where I started piano at age. The days like pre-internet, you can't get anything. You have to kind of listen to I think at that stage was Barney Simon, The Shadow Show, and it was like you could barely get a single from Kimberly. I mean, it was like in the middle of the Karoo. Even before I started playing music, I think I was playing music because you're in a household surrounded by a musical family. I really wanted to learn to play classical piano. Branching from classical music, I came from through my brothers. Liam and his friend Ryan had a little DJ crew, and they'd have like little disco lights, and they'd have vinyl records, and they'd be playing all the local social parties and stuff. The pop bands I was listening to was like Aha and Duran Duran and U2.
Every artist definitely feels a need to express something that comes from inside. I think whatever you're doing, graphic design was fun because I learned the structure that came naturally from art anyway and how to arrange things. I would completely say that art is yes, expressing your life. Art is just playfully finding what is happening, all through a kind of quite tortured process at times, but it's still just finding it and letting it happen. It's not a thing that goes, okay, do you want this box or that box, or do you think you want to be in between? I thought, okay, art is this thing and it's masterpiece and I have to do this and I have to make it perfect, and I think there's definitely that. I mean, it's obviously that's what we're striving to, but I think I've had to learn that art is everything that I'm doing along the way. I didn't think there was a specific point that where it started that I have to express or I want to express or I need to. I think it just happened. It just kind of flowed. And maybe it is because I had all the art around me and I was really encouraged by my parents. They were really supportive, absolutely. I mean, there was art all over our house. I mean, you couldn't really see the walls for the paintings.
The girl.
I definitely think when I started getting into like more guitar-based music, like I think the piano definitely took a sideline. I think the passion kind of shifted onto another style of music, and there was something an exciting new genre to get into. It kind of opened up my eyes that there's a whole other world of that you can use your musical abilities for. My one friend, I'm still good friends tonight, we're still playing in bands now, Mark Buchanan. We started playing rock music together, and I think that changed everything. We were like, we're taking that straight road and we're going that way instead. And that's we don't even know where we're going to go in that direction, but we're going to find some really cool destination. I wanted to be a rock guitarist, I wanted to be a lead guitarist and do like guitar solos and stuff. He started playing, he just started getting really good. And I was trying to keep up with him on guitar, but he was just a natural guitarist. Eventually moved on to bass guitar, and that actually became probably my biggest love instrument. And I still enjoy playing bass. I'm actually playing bass guitar tonight at a gig, and I'm really looking forward to it. For me, I think people have different vehicles of expression, and even though I've got music as a whole as an expression, I think bass guitar for me is like my true expression. I think that's the one I really resonate with.
I actually started working in an agency in Windhoek quite immediately because I thought I could just train on the job. Because of that, I was able to do everything. I was chatting to clients and taking everything from the conversation to them to making the sketches to designing it to going back to them. I did post-matric as a German Abitur, so I could study there. I think if you've grown up in South Africa or in a space where you can really take a drive out and it takes you anything between 10 minutes or an hour, you miss that when you're on a mountain in Germany wanting to go for a hike and there's, I don't know, a whole city there with you. Yeah, it wasn't my place to stay. I was really lucky because the person that was there trained me, or she was also a friend of Paul at the agency. It was Runel Lewis. She's an incredible film editor, and she was with me just right at the beginning. I was still sitting in a room mainly logging an entire room full of videos, and she just showed me I guess the basics of editing. Just giving me that input in the beginning that I think is really, really necessary for someone to help you find the right things to look for. And her brother, Kobus Lutz, who's an incredible commercials editor as well, he was looking for an assistant in Cape Town. So I flew for the interview, was in the office there and went, oh my god, this is amazing, it's just the perfect place. It was kind of, I'll pay 1,000 rand and see if you're born to be an editor, because that's what you apparently need to be. And yes, luckily got the job. So moved here in 98. Coming from Windhoek, where people look at you when you have, I don't know, orange hair and go, oh, you've got orange hair, that's so weird. And here I could just go and do anything and nobody said anything, and it was absolutely fine. So I had multicolored hair immediately, any color I could think of.
High school, I started with fantastic grades, and as I discovered rock and roll, kind of my subject was math, science, biology, and music. I studied music at school, which was quite a fortunate thing. And I went to go and study varsity, and it became more academic. But I was still playing a bit of music on the side. Mark came up to Joburg, playing in the band with my brother as well. You realise when you get out of school, if you're going to study anything tertiary, you have to stay focused, especially if you're going to be studying like engineering. And then I think at that point I realised it's not my heart wasn't in that illusion of where I wanted to be, where my mind was. My heart wasn't there, so I had like a lot of back and forth throughout the year. But the longer I left it, the harder it became to make the decision to drop out. It was a big thing, and I started working part-time at a CD shop. Earned I think it was only like 10 rand an hour, 10 rand, 15 rand an hour. Makes you think quite hard. What happened was I started getting into session drumming. Session for me was quite a new thing, because you play in one band. That's it. You play in one band, you learn all the songs, and you get gigs and you play wherever. I think that's when it started growing. That was the change of me being less musically monogamous. I can't even say it properly. So I started playing with Urban Creep on bass, because my friend was playing drums, and we were getting paid like quite well, because they were established. They had hits on radio and stuff. I'd never been a band that had like charting hits, and we were playing at festivals and we were being flown around. And flew to France. We played in France. So it's the first time I actually had that kind of experience playing music.
The reason why I left Cutaways was actually because of DJing. So while I was at Cutaways, they were doing one of the Peter Stuyvesant cinema ads, one of the last few cinema ads that Smoking was allowed to advertise. And they wanted a track like a Fat Planet, basically. A left field track. And I said, well, there's, Victor and Roach, I know these guys, they're amazing DJs, they make their own music. They can do this. It's so easy. Why don't we ask them? Because I think back then it was also very specific audio houses that did the work. And they kind of went, okay, cool, let's give that a try. I mean, they definitely know that with drum and bass, so yeah, absolutely. So they made the track, which the agency and the client loved and accepted, and with that, actually, they released Acid Made Me Do It. They just went, this is it, we've got the money now, we can bring out the album. From that first evening of VJing, I completely got into VJing. I just loved that I had a practical application of the stuff that, again, was kind of controlled in film editing and commercials and music videos. I mean, you have just that one outlet, and here I could just do whatever I wanted. I could say anything, I could cut it in any style. There was no director saying, more of this, 5 frames less of that. I used to be a drummer, so I sold my drum kit to buy a little camera so I could film things and just do that old school style of running a tape through, filming it off screen, zooming in, pixelating. I dig all the beats I collaborate with. It's fantastic. It's really all for different reasons. I mean, I think it's great because you can explore completely visual craziness, and they've got that style down. Good Luck are fantastic because they've got that, it's just fun and it's swing. It's great when you're working with artists that really just go, love what you do, just do what you want to do. Here's some thoughts, but just go. Mix and Blend, of course, are amazing because we've been able to travel to Reunion Island together, and they're the same. They're just really amazing people, make fantastic music, fantastic beats. Woody, actually, when he moved from Johannesburg, he needed a place to stay, and I was staying in that flat in Fredhoek. And it was a 2-bedroom flat, and just said, well, you're welcome, just stay over and don't worry about rent or anything. Just find your feet. And that was also when he started getting involved with African Dope, and obviously Constructors Corporation, all of that kind of stuff was developing from there. I could work with his drawings and animate those, and same as with Felix Laband. It's so great when the artist comes with, this is my identity already, and just play with it now, take it further and animate what you're doing.
We're quite polarized during those days. Joburg was doing his thing and Cape Town was doing his thing. African dope scene started picking up then. We knew about the African dope scene and we were connected because there were artists who were also involved. I think dialing it back, I was playing in Max Normal with Waddy the artist and his Ninja, and he also did collaborations with African dope. At the time we were still doing Max Normal. Max Normal was exciting because I kind of went from a lot of bands, and for the first time in a long time I actually went down to like one band. That was like the main band I was focusing on because we were getting a lot of attention. We were rocking shows. At that time it was Waddy, Cybox, Mark McCann and myself. So I was still playing with Mark, which was really cool. We decided we were going to move down to Cape Town, so we did a big move down here, and then the band ended 4 months after that. I learned quite a lot from that in the context of the style of music that I was doing, because I was getting to work with a lot more electronic music. The first time I got a sampler, an electronic device, which I could actually produce beats and actually play it live on stage. I took the last bit of my Max Normal money and I bought a computer. That was I remember I invested in a computer because I wanted to produce music. That was quite a big change in turning point for my music career. I spent rainy Cape Town, rainy Cape Town winter, learning how to work some music software and start making tracks. After being in bands for so long, like you can produce and you can be your own band. It was a opportunity to be able to just create. There was a musical family here for me, even after Max Normal and when I started playing with Odessa and Fishy Ground and other bands. If I didn't make a gig with Odessa, there were other people as well that they could contact, but you'll end up being either first on the list or second on the list, but you're in the list. There's a whole pool of us of musicians shifting around, and we'd all kind of rotate and fill in for each other, I suppose. So we're all actually one big incestuous family.
I guess when I started VJing, I didn't really think much about a name. Waddy and Ugly were around quite a bit, and they knew that I was kind of playing around with names, and Waddy being amazingly creative was also just really okay. We're gonna work this out, and it was it was my birthday, and we met at what was it, the kitchen, I think, and I arrived and he'd made these beautiful toys, and he said, and here's another little thing, and he gave me an envelope and they said, we've thought of the perfect name for you. You should be the girl, or girl at least. So that was it. That was the girl and the birth of the girl.
I mean, actually met in Belgium and playing for different artists at Pop Festival, and it was only many years later that we actually met again.
The first few meetings were you hanging out going, oh, you do visuals, that's great, and me going, yes, you play amazing music. So
I'd always kind of catch up to her at gigs and just her personality and vibe at parties. I would go and chat to her lots and always chat about the visuals as well, because I was always interested in the visuals.
Yeah, and at Mercury downstairs. And I was dancing and there was Sean, and we looked at each other and we went, hey man!
Hello!
Hello! So we always kind of commented on each other's work, and in that kind of sense, I guess always really, what are you doing, what's, and valuing each other's and respecting each other's opinion of what it is that we do.
Audio music was probably the first time we actually officially did a performance together.
Yeah.
As music and visuals. It was a really cool night because it was just an experimental night of video and music. It was cool for us because it was the first time we tried something together. We preparing something together before. Whereas before, if we played a gig, you'd be doing visuals and there'd be a gig in the band I might be playing, and so it was less personal kind of coming together of our arts, and I think that was the first time we actually did that. It was really, really cool. the relationship with Incas, we're married, it's for life.
You know that what you're developing will always follow something together. I think it's the same as with maybe what you were chatting about earlier with bands that are like families. I think it is when you're in a band, you're in a relationship with 5-6 people that all have their lives that, you know, go in certain directions. Some of them will have a kid and then their life changes. Whereas I think with us, we know we are that, we have that, we don't have to worry about that. It's just there. So you can just actually flow with it and not have to worry about the relationship itself.
We work on trust. I mean, that's like Inca's visual abilities and the work she creates is like totally trusted, and I value her opinion. And I'll throw ideas, but she always know that the idea she throws will actually really work. That's really cool. Decisions we make directly affects our lives, and we're part of it.
Yeah, we're just responsible for each other. Easy.
Being able to experience life through music and art together is a very fortunate thing for us.
I think the very long-term vision would be to go into more of an installation, artistic kind of space.
I suppose also what we also want to explore more as well is more video mashups. Artists today are like so lucky that they have all this technology at their fingertips. With the right savvy and creative energy and stuff, they can really create like the most amazing magic easy and put it out. I really hope that the young artists who are starting out and musicians starting out now actually appreciate that more than they realise, because the stuff we had to learn on the way to where we are now, and the amount of gear and the cost of stuff and how difficult it was.
Lugging.
I mean,
Sure.
I enjoyed that, but
Yeah.
it's really cool the space we're in now to be able to create what we do a lot easier. That's just fantastic.
Yeah.